Welcome, foolish creatures, to another episode of Hill City Paranormal. You'll hear spooky calls from our haunted hotline. Stories plucked from another dimension with tales from the beyond. Oddities galore in news from the beyond. And haunting interviews with your ghost host, Woody G. Watts. Welcome to Hill City Paranormal.
This is Woody G. Watts back with Hill City Paranormal, updating you with a news from the beyond for July 21st, 2022. Scientists are trying to identify a pair of mysterious sea creatures that washed ashore in North Carolina, leaving them scratching their heads. Workers at the Cape Lookout National Seashore, which oversees parts of the state's barrier islands, discovered the puzzling oddities. According to their Facebook page, Turtle Patrol members found two strange objects sitting on a beach and are stumped as to what they might be. Both creatures appear to be 6 inches long and have white spikes protruding from their bodies, though the department is unsure what the appendages are. Although experts from Cape Lookout National Seashore suspected the creatures might be sea cucumbers or sea slugs, they are actually unable to prove their theory since the oddities, quote, couldn't be matched to any online images, end quote. As a result, they enlisted the help of members of the Facebook group. It was not surprising that people on social media suggested fireworms, Bristol worms, and sea cucumbers as possible animals. There were also those who marveled at the strange animals, and one individual compared them to the alien creature that popped out of the man's stomach. Can you identify the confounding creatures? We have them on our website at hillcityparanormal.com under News from the Beyond. Help us to identify these mysterious sea creatures. In other news from the beyond, a documentary series on Amazon Prime recently featured an apparition that appeared behind the host while he was speaking in front of a mass grave. A spooky anomaly is reported to appear in the new show James May, Our Man in Italy, in which May visits various sites throughout the country. Watching the third episode of the series, some viewers were surprised to see a somewhat translucent figure emerge from behind a tree and move across the background while the host talks to the camera. Due to the fact that May was visiting a mass grave at the time of the incident, some have speculated that the puzzling form was in fact a ghost. People shared the mysterious moment widely online, and the host even took to social media to acknowledge the weirdness, writing, "Thank you for pointing out the ghost in episode 3 of my new Italy series. Either it's a real ghost or, more likely but boring, digital file corruption. What do you think of this oddity? Visit our site and let us know." And finally, there is a possibility that a patron at a restaurant in China will get their future meals for free after discovering that the establishment's outdoor courtyard is actually adorned with a 100-million-year-old dinosaur footprint. Last week, a guest at an eatery in the city of Lashan reportedly noticed some unusual impressions on the rock floor outside of the building. To investigate the previously overlooked marks, the restaurant enlisted a paleontologist from the China University of Geosciences who confirmed that they were actually footprints left behind by a sauropod millions of years ago. This is particularly fortunate because the restaurant has only been in business for about 1 year, and the site had previously been a chicken farm where dirt had covered the footprints and preserved them quite well. The owner of the eatery removed that protective layer, but rather than even the area with cement, he chose to preserve the rocky floor because he liked the way it looked. It is amazing that no one noticed the impressions over the past year until last week's guest brought them up. The owner is now even considering building some kind of structure to protect the ancient impressions even further by enclosing them with a newly constructed fence to prevent inquisitive restaurant patrons from damaging the site. The patron who made the establishment famous with its dinosaur prints is uncertain if they received any reward for their attention to detail. but one wouldn't be surprised if their next meal is on the house. This has been the top stories for News from the Beyond for this week in July. For all of our other News from the Beyond segments, visit hillcityparanormal.com and click on News from the Beyond at the top. And if you have an odd story that you want us to share, please email it to us at news@hillcityparanormal.com. We would love to share it in our News from the Beyond segments.
Be sure to check out our website at hillcityparanormal.com and call our haunted hotline at 701-HAUNTED. That's 701-428-6833. With your spooky tale, we're dying to hear it. Thank you for listening to Hill City Paranormal.